Hello there, Mr. Mesh here. I hope you're doing well and you're enjoying economics. So today we are going to do demand and supply, but our focus is going to be on the calculations and not the theory. When we go through this video, you must have a basic understanding of the theory behind demand and supply. So check out some of the videos we've done on demand and supply. All right. So the question here, you are given a scenario in marshland where the demand and supply have linear relationships between the price and the quantity. So the demand and supply functions are given here, which are linear. And firstly, you have to calculate the equilibrium price and quantity. So we take note of these two functions. We calculate the equilibrium price and quantity. We draw, and then we draw the equilibrium. After which we then calculate the consumer and producer surplus. Suppose that the government imposes a ceiling of R5.50. We calculate the excess demand, and finally, for that ceiling, we calculate the deadweight loss. Let's get straight into it. All right. So remember, for equilibrium, the quantity demanded has to be equal to the quantity supplied. And the functions that I've given you are such that the quantity demanded is equals to 200 minus 20p, and the quantity supplied is equals to minus 5 plus 5p. Then we solve this. So we put the like terms together, the 20p and the 5p. So 20p and the 5p are the like terms together. And then the 5 and the 200, it crosses, it becomes a plus. So it's 200 plus 5. We add these two, we have 25 times the price, which is equals to 205. Then we divide both sides by 25. We divide both sides by 25. Hence our equilibrium price is equal to 8.2 rands. We are told that the currency in Marshland is the rand. Right. And then to calculate the quantity, we substitute the price into either the demand or the supply function. Let's substitute into both to see if we actually get the same answer. The quantity demanded is 200 minus 20p, which is 20 times the price of 8.2. If you calculate this, quickly punch this into your calculator, you must get 36 units or loaves of bread, and the quantity supplied is going to be minus 5 plus 5 times 8.2. Quickly punch this into your calculator, you must get 36 units or 36 loaves of bread. These numbers are the same. They should be the same. If they are different, then there's a problem, because by definition, at equilibrium, the quantity demanded has to be equal to the quantity supplied. All right. And then to draw this, we are going to draw this. Remember, we are still on part 1. We are going to draw this here. Okay. This is the price. This is the quantity. From this demand function, we see that when the quantity is equal to 0, our price is equal to 10. So it must go all the way up to 10. And with the supply function here, if we equate this to 0, we see that the price should equal to 1. So the price is equals to 1. The supply function is a positive relationship. The demand function is a negative relationship. This is the supply, this is the demand. They meet at equilibrium here, when the equilibrium quantity is 36 units and the equilibrium price is 3.2. All right, this is 3 comma, it's 8,2. My apologies, 8,2. 8,2. All right, and then this concludes the first part of the question. So the first part of the question is done. We have calculated and we have drawn. The second part of the question was to calculate the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. Remember, the consumer surplus is the benefit consumers get by buying at a price that is less than what they are willing to pay. So if they are willing to pay this amount, 10, but equilibrium determines that the price is 8,2, the difference between these two becomes the surplus for the consumer. So it's going to be this area here above equilibrium, below the demand curve. Then to calculate the consumer surplus, you can see clearly that this is a triangle. Area of a triangle is half times the base. The base is from here to there, 36, times the height, which is from here to there, which is 10 minus 8,2. All right. If you put these numbers into your calculator, you must get a consumer surplus of 32,4 rand. So you must get 32.4 rands. And then we do the same for the producer surplus. The producer surplus is the benefit producers get by selling at a price that is higher than what they're willing to sell. They might be willing to sell at 1, but in equilibrium, it's determined that they sell at 8. So the difference here, for 36 quantities, this is again a triangle, and the area of a triangle is half base times height. So this is half times the base, which is 36, times the height. What is the height? Quickly think about it. The difference between 8,2 and 1. So it's 8.2 minus 1. Put these numbers into your calculator. You must get a consumer surplus of the producer's surplus in this instance. It's 129.6. Okay, so if you manage to get these two values, well done. That is the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. Now, going on to the third question. The third question asked us to calculate the excess demand. The government has decided to impose a price ceiling. And remember, a price ceiling is a maximum price that is imposed below equilibrium. So what I'll do is, I'm going to quickly draw this curve. Okay, I'm going to quickly draw this. I'll quickly draw it here. There we go. All right. Price here, quantity there. Remember, the demand curve was intersecting at 10 here, and the supply was intersecting at 1 here. Okay, so the equilibrium was given as 8,2. We calculated this, and then equilibrium quantity is 36. We calculated this. If the government imposes a ceiling, they've imposed a maximum price below equilibrium. So let me just do this. Let's say the government has imposed this as a ceiling. You see here that this ceiling is a maximum. You are not allowed to charge more than this, and this is 5,5. And you see that at this, the supply is lower. Producers don't want to sell for low prices, but the demand is actually quite high. So the demand exceeds the supply, and this here is our excess demand. Okay, so this here is going to be our excess demand. So to calculate the excess demand, we find this quantity. We find this quantity here and this quantity here. We do that by substituting the 5,5 into the demand function and the supply function. Let's quickly do that. Let's go back to the white color. So the quantity demanded at a price of 5,5 is going to be equals to the 200, which is the demand function, minus 20 times 5,5. Punch these numbers into your calculator. You must get an answer of, if you put this in your calculator, you must get 1.7. My apologies. Quickly put this in your calculator. You must get 90. Yes, 90. And then the quantity supplied for a price of 5,5. It's minus 5 plus 5 times 5,5. You substitute this into your calculator as well, you must get 22,5. All right, so these are quantities, these are loaves of bread. So the excess demand is then going to be, for question number 3, the excess demand would then be equals to the quantity demanded minus the quantity supplied for that particular price, which is equals to 90 minus 22,5, and we have in excess of 67,5 units of bread or loaves of bread. So this is the excess. We are going to have a shortage of 67 and a half loaves of bread if the government imposes a ceiling of 5,5 because they feel 8 rand 20 cents is too expensive. Okay, now for the last part, which is part 4. Okay, we are asked to calculate the deadweight loss, and the deadweight loss, coming back to this graph here, I'm going to use a different color again. Let me use green. The deadweight loss is this area here, this triangle here is our deadweight loss. We have this price of 5,5. We have this quantity, right? The quantity, because this is on the supply curve. This quantity is on the supply curve. And the quantity 2 was 22,5. So this value here is 22,5. So we have this distance here. What we need to calculate is this distance. What is the value here? And to get the value here, we go back to the demand curve because this is on the demand curve. But we are now going to substitute a quantity of 22,5 to find the price. If we are only buying 22,5, what would the price then be? Our demand curve, the quantity demanded is equal to 200 minus 20 times the price. The quantity, 22,5, would then be equal to 200 minus 20 times the price. So 20p is equals to 200 minus 22,5. Hence, if you solve this, you're going to subtract this 2, then your price is equal to 177,5, which is the difference here, divided by 20 both sides, you get the price of 8,875. So this price here is 8,875. So we have this distance now, and we have this distance. So to calculate the dead weight loss, which this is what we call the dead weight loss, to calculate this part, we are going to then say half base times height. The dead weight loss, it's half, you can see it's a triangle there, times the base, which is equal to, you can use this as the base or that, whichever, 8,875 minus 8,2 multiplied by the difference at the bottom there, which is 36 minus 22,5, and then we put these numbers into our calculator. We are going to get a half, which is multiplied by 3,375, and then this is multiplied by 13,5, and our dead weight loss is going to be 22,78 rands, which is the loss to society because of the imposed maximum price or ceiling by the government. There's a loss to society, especially the producers. They tend to lose a lot by being forced to sell at a lower price. All right, so basically that's what Mr. Mash has for today, for this session. Happy studying, enjoy economics. Cheers.